Marketing Battleborn Bride is my focus for the next 7 weeks, and I will plan to post at least multiple videos per week updating you on the progress of this marketing blitz. So today is really day 2 of marketing the book, and so far I have posted the YouTube video from yesterday where I did the cover reveal and announced the pre-order. So that video has gotten 11 hits, and that's a little more than is normal for me, which I take as a good sign. We also did a blog post on our website that JT posted yesterday, and I reposted links to that on social media today. So far, that blog post has gotten 13 hits. So that's just over the course of a couple of days. Obviously, I don't get a lot of hits, but I'm hoping that over time, those will start to build. And I have been approved for the Book Sirens Advanced Review Reader copy, advanced review copy, however you want to put it. I have been approved on Book Sirens, and I have paid for that. So there is a $10 upload fee when they approve your book. Plus, when the ARC readers download a copy, it costs $2 per download, up to, I think it's something like 100 people can download it. They are saying that about 75% of the readers that they will be approaching should leave a review on Amazon or Goodreads. So I'm hopeful that I will get at least a handful of reviews before the book releases on October 31st. We'll see how this goes. JT has done books previously. The last time I attempted it, I wasn't accepted, so I'm taking that as a good sign. The fact that they actually did approve Battleborn Bride. With JT's previous books, he got 2 or 3, maybe a handful at the most, of reviews. So I'm hopeful. His, I believe, were both science fiction. I don't know if it would be different for historical fiction and romance. We'll see how that goes. But I will definitely keep you posted as to how many reviews I may get during the next 7 weeks. And also, we currently have 2 pre-orders. I know one of them is JT, so whoever pre-ordered the second copy, thank you. I appreciate that. And I mentioned in yesterday's video that as of posting the pre-order, my book was at 309,110 in the overall Kindle store. With 2 pre-orders, that went up to 200,314. I was at 225 in 19th century historical fiction Kindle, and I am now at 158 19th century historical fiction Kindle. I was at 304 in 19th century historical fiction books. I'm now at 218 in that category. And I was at 2,133 in U.S. historical fiction. I'm now at 1,569 in U.S. historical fiction. Now, if I don't continue to get pre-orders, those will start dropping down again pretty rapidly. So I'm hopeful that with this regular marketing that I'm planning to do on a daily basis for Battleborn Bride, that I will get a few more pre-orders, and hopefully you can tell that even one pre-order raises the ranking of the book pretty significantly. So if I can get a few more, maybe a handful or a couple of dozen, that could take me up quite a bit in the rankings, especially in these categories where I believe there are a lot fewer books in competition with mine. So we'll see how that goes, but I will keep you posted as to the ranking fluctuations over the course of the next 7 weeks. I did submit Battleborn Bride to Bowker and assigned it an ISBN. So that is the number that is assigned to the book that JT and I purchased from Bowker. And it is the one that you will normally see in the barcode on the back cover of a paperback or hardback, depending on which book you have. So I assigned the Bowker ISBN to the paperback version of the book. we're going to try to do something a little bit different with Battleborn Bride. In the past, we've uploaded to Amazon and Barnes & Noble on our own. And then we've gone to Draft to Digital and done wider release in that way. The challenge is that Draft to Digital does not like it if we've already uploaded the Amazon and Barnes & Noble books with the ISBN that we have purchased. So we are going to upload Battleborn Bride to Draft to Digital, aside from the one ebook that we've put on Amazon. We're going to try to opt out of having Draft to Digital send the ebook to Amazon because it's already there. All of the rest of the platforms, we're going to try to do that through Draft to Digital with the single ISBN that we've assigned the paperback. We don't need to assign the ebooks an ISBN. And the ebook and the paperback and the hardback, each version of the book would have a different ISBN number assigned to it. We don't want to assign too many of the numbers because we only purchased 10 ISBNs, and this will be the third one that we've used. So we're going to attempt to do Draft to Digital distribution only, aside from the ebook that I've already put up for pre-order on Amazon. And we're going to see how that goes, which means we will not be able to order a proof copy from Amazon because Draft to Digital will be handling that part of the process. So we are going to order the proof from Draft to Digital, which has an upside and a downside. The upside is that the proof copy, if it's a good copy, we can use that as a saleable copy because they don't put the bar across the cover and they don't change the ISBN on the back because Amazon does an internal ISBN on the proof copies so that they can't be resold. So hopefully if we do the Draft to Digital proof version and it looks good, we can go ahead and put that in our inventory for sales. Once we approve that, then we will start ordering the author copies from Draft to Digital, which takes a little bit longer than Amazon, which is also a downside. So I have finalized the manuscript. It's formatted and finalized and ready to go up on Draft to Digital. So I have the manuscript, I have the book cover, and I have the ISBN ready to go. We are waiting for the ISBN. It's currently pending. As soon as that is active, we're going to go ahead and upload that to Draft to Digital and order a proof copy. And like I said, we're going to attempt to distribute everywhere in paperback and almost everywhere in ebook except for Amazon. I think we can opt out of Amazon, but if not, we'll see what happens. Now, if you look at my author page specifically on Amazon, you will see that there are two different paperback versions of From Tundra to Tiara. The reason for that is that we uploaded one to Amazon and we uploaded one through Draft to Digital. So that is why we're attempting the Draft to Digital process only at this time. We're also hopeful that we will sell some copies through Draft to Digital because they have started charging a fee if you don't sell $100 or more worth of books per year, I think. They charge you a $12 fee. JT calls it a poor tax. And it's basically the, I don't know why they charge you a fee. I guess it's a maintenance fee or something. Now, if you go through Ingram Spark, I believe they charge you $25 to upload the manuscript in the first place. And then if you need to re-upload the manuscript to update it for some reason, they charge you again, which they have not been doing on Draft to Digital. So I'm hopeful that Draft to Digital doesn't add that the way Ingram Spark has. And, if it's the $12 fee per year, I think we've sold over $70 worth of books so far, maybe close to $80. So we should, by the time the next year rolls around, which I think will be February of 2027, I'm hopeful we can sell about $30 worth of books between now and then so we don't have that $12 fee, which not a huge deal, but it adds up over time. And the other thing that we have decided is I was going to put a resource page in the book that would link to other places to do further reading. So some of the articles that I referred to from things like the Kansas Historical Society. But putting the URLs in a paperback book really is kind of useless because nobody can click on that. It would be fine in the ebook version, but I didn't do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a special page on our website for Battleborn Bride where I can put all those resources. And that will also give me the opportunity to update them on a regular basis. I can go back and check to make sure the URLs are still working, if they've been moved or something. And I think that's a better way to go. So I put a page in the book itself that says to go to www.carsonhume.com/Battleborn Bride. And that page will have all the resources that I had intended to include in the book. So that can be used by people who are just interested in more information. It could also be used by any teachers that may decide they want to assign the book as reading so that their students can look at where the original reference material was found. And I'm hopeful that may happen because I do know that Nevada history is taught in elementary school. It may not be taught again until college. I don't know if they do a Nevada history module in high school at some point. I would love for high school students to read this book, though, because I feel like that would be a good age to catch them at. And I purposely did not make the book too dense because I want it to be an easy and quick read in case students read it, so that if they have assigned reading, obviously they don't want it, to be a really thick book on top of everything else that they're doing with their homework. So that's what we're going to do with the resource materials so that students or other people who may want more information about the time period and the various events and people that I mentioned, that will all be found on one page on our website. So we are progressing with the marketing plan for Battleborn Bride. I am also putting together a bookmark that will be specific for the book. My plan is to actually wear my Ask Me About My Book t-shirt around and have these bookmarks available. They're going to have a QR code that links directly to my Amazon pre-order so that if I hand them out, people can click on that and pre-order the book just right then and there. I'm hoping this is a way to get more pre-orders in the coming weeks. Like I said, the book is coming out 7 weeks from today, so that gives me a little bit of time to go out and do some face-to-face promotion in the local community. So plans are progressing for marketing Battleborn Bride. This is a lot more effort than I've put into marketing our books in the past. And if this works well, we can start adapting this for our future book releases so that hopefully maybe, on release day, things might be a little bit more interesting. Of course, I do have plans for a lot of release events in October. We've added maybe a couple more to the point where JT and I have decided we may actually both be doing separate events on the same day so that we can cover more ground. And we'll see how that goes. We haven't quite decided for sure if that's happening. We need to finalize all the dates and times and everything. But it is possible that in October, JT and I will be doing at least 2 events on our own. So it would be a total of 4 events, but each one of us would be at a separate event on the same day. So we'll see how that works out, because it's great to be able to market our books in person, but if we're not both there, then for books, for example, like From Tundra to Tiara, JT would be able to autograph it, but I would not be there to do so, and vice versa, depending on who has the books and where we are. But we would plan to take all of our books with us to wherever we're going, with the one exception that I think 2 of the events I'm doing, I may just take Battleborn Bride. I'm not 100% sure yet if that's the way I'm going to approach this, but for the Riverside book release party, I might just take Battleborn Bride. I might take a handful of my other books just to have them there in case anyone is interested. And the same may be true of Bub's Bookstore. I might take mostly Battleborn Bride, maybe a handful of my other books. I would not be taking JT's books to those 2 particular events because it would be specifically my book events. But of course, I will have brochures that include all the books that we've released in case anybody is interested in checking them out. So that's what we've been doing so far today. It has been a very busy day, actually a very busy week so far. We do have a podcast going up tomorrow for the Nevada Author Network. We're skipping our regular CC and JT Amateur Hour post. JT is about to start contacting authors that we will be interviewing on the CC and JT Amateur Hour in the fall, and he's going to be setting up dates for that. So we will be doing our regular CC and JT Amateur Hour again a week from tomorrow. And I think going forward from there, we will be doing them every Sunday. And then the interviews that we will do with the CC and JT Amateur Hour, we plan to post on Wednesdays. So we will be posting 2 podcasts per week. That way we can get more authors into the rotation and hopefully get more attention on our podcast. We are trying to promote them more. We also have other plans for the Nevada Author Network that we will be talking to the Sierra Arts literary community about in our September meeting. And we are hoping to do a publication of local authors, kind of an anthology. And I'll be sharing more details about that in the future. But we are planning to expand our Nevada Author Network presence a little bit with publications maybe. And so they will augment the podcasts that we've been doing. So we're really trying to promote not only ourselves, but our local author community. And hopefully we will bring our local authors to the attention of people outside of our area as well. But there's just so much going on right now. And I am toying with the idea of actually going on other people's podcasts to talk about Battleborn Bride. I do plan to contact local media outlets like our newspapers, but also there's a morning show that I've done previously. I hope to do that in October, closer to release day, and we'll see what else comes out of that. But the marketing blitz is going to be underway for the next 7 weeks, and then I will do a traditional release week series starting on the day the book releases and for the week following that, so that we can kind of wrap up this whole marketing blitz idea and see how it went over the course of release week and whether or not I did have a lot of books pre-ordered in advance of October 31st, whether that drove my rankings up enough to get more attention, and whether that carries through the following days after the book releases. So it's going to be an interesting experiment for me. I know other people have done this with a lot of success, and some people have done it with less success. It really depends on the person and how they go about doing it. And since this is a totally new situation for me, I have no idea what to expect. Like I said, it's worked differently for other people that I've followed. So I have no idea how this will work for JT and I. But if this is successful for us, we may do something similar with all of our other books going forward. And then, maybe we'll actually sell a few books here and there so that we don't have to do things like pay the $12 fee to Draft to Digital to have our books on their site. It's always something. The nickel and diming that happens when we're self-publishing it adds up pretty quickly, because we pay for 2 websites. We pay for, obviously, the books that we edit and the cover design. We pay for our proof copies. We pay for our author copies. I've gone into great detail about all the things that we end up paying for in advance of selling our books. So I don't begrudge anybody the money we pay them for things like editing and cover design, but sometimes these sites that we go to, the websites themselves can be very expensive, and it is possible we could use other hosting services, but changing from one to another can be a very tedious process, and we have enough going on right now to work. We don't need to worry about that. So we will continue to do what we're doing and try to increase our visibility, try to increase our sales, hopefully organically. I don't want to put out more money for marketing whenever possible. Like I said, I'm probably going to buy maybe 25 bookmarks that will be specifically for the Battleborn Bride pre-order. So I consider that a marketing cost. And of course, we bought the t-shirts that said, "Ask me about my book." But other than that, it's not like we're paying money to things like Facebook ads, because in the past, those have not worked at all for us. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see if I get reviews. We'll see if I get more pre-orders. And I will keep you posted on the ranking, on the pre-orders I get, the ranking numbers. And the other things that I will be doing along the way, just to let you know how things are working and whether or not I would continue to do this going forward. And like I said, during release week, probably the week after Battleborn Bride releases, I'll do a wrap up video that will talk about the whole process and exactly what I learned from it. And that could be very enlightening. But in the meantime, I think I'm done working for the day. It's been uh, kind of a busy few days, a busy week. We were just coming off the tail end of the America's Favorite Couple contest, which we had hoped to continue on with. But barring being America's favorite couple, let's hope that maybe we can become, if not America's favorite author, a few people's favorite author. One of my goals, as I've mentioned previously, is to earn enough money to work on our podcast studio so that we can upgrade that a little bit. We have purchased a new backdrop for our podcast because the one we were using was pretty labor intensive to put up and take down. So we've actually just gotten a room divider, one of those tri-fold or quarter fold ones, and we're going to try using those for a while because we try to have a neutral backdrop and we don't have a lot of neutral spaces in our house. So we'll see how that goes. But in the interim, until we actually get around to creating our podcast studio, we're trying to do what we can with what we've got, not spend tons of money on it. And, we're having fun. It's tiring. It can be frustrating, but it's still a lot of fun. And I don't think I want to be doing anything else right now because this is quite the adventure. And even though I've mentioned that I do miss my former job sometimes, this keeps me so busy. It gives me very little time to really dwell on that. And I do plan to go back and visit the archives soon to talk to at least the state library about Battleborn Bride, whether or not they're going to be interested in carrying that, and the Talking Books program. And I'll be recording my own audiobook version of it, or at least attempting to. So there's all of that related things, all of those related things. Oh, my brain is so fried today. All of those related things will be discussed in future videos, but for now, I think I really need to cut this off and give my brain a break. So I do thank you for following along. If you are new here, I hope you will subscribe, ring that bell, all that good stuff, and continue to follow along as we go through this process of marketing my historical romance, Battleborn Bride. And I do have videos already out there about the drafting and editing process for my books. They're not all specifically related to Battleborn Bride, but you can find the Fast Drafting My Work in Progress playlist where that was specifically Battleborn Bride, and that was quite the adventure because I was working on two books at once. And the first book, Haunt Season, has already been released. It's been out for almost 2 months now. Haven't sold a few copies in a few days. I believe somebody recently purchased a copy of Passion Restored, which is book one of that series, so that was a good thing. But you can find all of the details about those things in my playlists if you're interested. There are, oh gosh, I don't even know how many videos are up at this point in my Life of a Writer 2026. I've lost track of what day we're on. We're in the 200s, I think, for the year. Most of them are long form videos. I have done a few shorts here and there. Toward the end of the year, I may do a couple of lives. We'll see how that goes. But you can follow along on all my adventures. And I do try to respond to any comments that are left on my videos. So if you are an aspiring author or if you are a reader and you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave them down below and I'll be happy to get back to you. You can also check out our website at www.kirstenhume.com and contact us that way. And we do try to respond as much as possible. I do not respond to direct messages on social media like Twitter and Facebook and things like that for the most part because so much of it is spammy that I have not been able to figure out who's who. If I know the person that is interacting with me in either real life or I've interacted with them in another way, they will get a response. But for the most part, random direct messages from people I tend to ignore because I never know for sure when they're spam. And it's just safer that way and less frustrating and time consuming for me. So If you want to reach out and ask a question, put it down below here on YouTube, or you can go to www.carsonhume.com and contact us that way, and I will be happy to respond to you. Otherwise, I hope you're having a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend so far, and I will chat with you again tomorrow. I'm Cassidy Carson, and this is The Life of a Writer. Take care.